Greg Huffman back here. I guess dratsab opinion piece here. Dratsab opines, and I was watching last week tonight with John All. They were talking about TANF on here, and here's interesting. They say this was in Oklahoma. Just 9% of their TANF block went to families cash on for like assistance. I wrote down some time codes. This one was like 2450, but if you look, like
cases they seem pretty off those sterile marriage classes.
Yeah, like hold on. Yeah, like they also fucking some of them send their money to like Texas, where I was living just before this was. They send their funds to crisis pregnancy centers, like anti-abortion. Weird, like what do you call it? Criteria for TANF. Like you don't have to be poor. It's just like it has to be stuff to like keep families intact and shit like that. And so you get away with siphoning off to colleges and shit. Oh yeah, and so well, the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase is involved. Brett Favre, right? Yeah. Let me see, what's another one on here? 30/20, and I wrote down some of this too. I just want to get states are soon. Oh yeah, so here, fucking of all places, Tennessee is like here. I'll play part of this.
$5.2 billion in unspent TANF funds. Tennessee
Source.
alone
There's Tennessee. I'm saying it.
$790 million. The largest pool of
$790 goddamn million dollars, which is unspent welfare. You know, it's like, and then in total 5.2. It's just it has just been set on by the government. So it's just it's ironic. I just think of all those people that think of like welfare queens, or all those people to say the poor people are eating up all the money. It's like, first off, man, it's like even if poor people did have access to all that money, which they don't. I even wrote down. I'll get to that in a minute. But even if, they were having actual access to that money, it wasn't getting siphoned off by goddamn government. What they call them, pork barrels or whatever the fuck. But I don't know if that's the way to put it. But like even the government always ends up siphoning that shit off. I guess this is also the libertarian argument that the government fucks things up anyway. But even if the poor were using all that, man, it's like it wouldn't do a dent compared to what rich people that are fucking shit up, like dumping chemicals into the water. It's like when the rich people exploit somebody, man, it uses up way more money than a poor person. Like one fucking rich dude can just take all the money and just all this money and just blow it on some bullshit. That a poor person, even if they're taking in that money, even if they get lobster, whatever the fuck, it's not that. I mean, it's like if that's their high point, is they're gonna eat lobster off food stamps, man. It's like the rich people, they're doing way more damage than that and taking way more money than that than some fucking lobster money. I mean, lobster used to be considered peasant food anyway back in the day. Considered lobster, David Foster Wallace. So it just feels like that whenever I hear that argument, luckily I don't hear it as much anymore. But if you ever hear the argument, say, oh, the poor people are just taking my money, my tax funds. Like, dude, the rich people, like the socialism for rich people, or whatever you want to call it, crony capitalism. It's getting way more than that. Like, why aren't you concerned about them? All the rich people fucking everyone else over. It's like the whole the hustle culture. It's like if you're complimenting people, like if you want to compliment a rich person for using that money to help people, understand. But if you're saying, oh, they just hustled and they fucked people over, I was like, isn't that the exact thing you don't want from poor people? You don't want to say, oh, poor person hustled and got fucking government funds to buy lobster. You just like they're exploiting the system and ruining society. But if a rich person's like, I made all this money by exploiting people, you're like, oh, look at his fucking money game. He's based as shit. It's like it feels double standard. We shouldn't be complimenting anybody for fucking over other people. At least poor people are taking money out of the system. It's because they need to survive. I wrote down like some of the facts and the sources he used because I thought it was fascinating. I'd like to learn more about it. The TANF is like I put all my current event notes here, and a lot of them are from John Oliver. All right, it says states are hoarding $5.2 billion in welfare funds. The largest is where I'm living, unspent pool, $790 million in Tennessee. And I need to fucking apply for food stamps. Speaking of, and I'm gonna argue that point if I get turned to. And source was ProPublica for this one, and then the crisis pregnancy centers. That's the anti. See that they try to make you think it's like a abortion center help, but it's actually anti-abortion. At least 10 states are using it for federal welfare to fund anti. I should have put a fund, but no, I guess that works. But anyway, the source for that was The Guardian on June 4th, 2021. This one was December 29th, 2021. And then Oklahoma is spending just 9% of its TANF block grant on cash assistance for families. This is what I've learned so far, and it makes me want to do some more research on this. I have to think about how we go about that. I'm not as good as researching current events. I'm more when I usually learn stuff about like history and like just general topics like that. I probably should do a little bit more research on current events and just stuff that's affecting us. But yeah, that's all I'm gonna put for now. It's about anything I can do to support poor people, the poor peeps, the so-called working class, whether they're working or not. You poor bastards. The low class. What the name we call it? The upper class, middle class, and no working class, of course. Don't want to be patronizing assholes. Alright, signing off. This is dratsab PINES. Peace.